Hi, my name is Mary Chris, and today I'll be presenting a case study that will explore the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic to the social support network of an older person. There are three topics that we'll be covering. First, we will discuss the social support network as a social determinant of health and how it's affected by the pandemic. We will also talk about the older people's behavioral risk factors, which is the effect of the pandemic to the social determinant of health. And finally, we will tackle how primary health care nurses can support the older people amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. To begin with, let me introduce you to Colin. He is a 65-year-old Australian. His wife Maureen passed away 10 years ago. He's got 2 sons with 5 grandkids. Colin lives on his own. His love for coffee made him start his own coffee shop. He doesn't have any pre-existing conditions. Before the pandemic, Colin was managing his coffee shop. He is so hands-on and enjoys every conversations with his customers. He plays golf with his mates once a week. He loves the outdoors. Camping and fishing are relaxing for him. And just like everybody, Colin loves the weekend. He gets to spend quality time with his grandkids as they go to church as a family. However, everything's changed during the pandemic. Colin had to close and sell his coffee shop for his own safety. He's no longer able to go outdoors for leisure, and can't go out with his mates either. And weekends makes him feel so emotional as he misses his grandkids the most. Colin is one of the many older Australians who are living through this pandemic. Now that we get to see a picture of how they struggle during these trying times, let's take a look at how it affects their well-being. According to Australian Institute of Health and Welfare, or AIHW, there are factors that act together to strengthen or weaken the health of individuals. We call it the social determinants of health. Some of the examples of social determinants of health, according to World Health Organizations, are healthy child development, education, employment, housing or physical environment, and social support network. In Colin's situation, we will be elaborating on the older people's social support network. In Australia, older people are those who are aged 65 and over. They make up about 16% of the total population, or about 3.9 million people as of December 2020, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. More than half of this population group tends to be active in socializing as reported by AIHW. Last 2014, it shows that 63% of the older Australian had social contact at least once a week. That includes 19% who had daily contact. AIHW also highlighted that keeping strong social network may benefit an individual's physical and mental health through practical and emotional help and support. Syed and others stated that majority of older adults rely on access to social support services in their everyday lives. Although Colin is independent in running errands on his own, he chose to stay at home and isolate to safeguard his well-being and to help stop spreading the virus. The World Health Organization declared COVID-19 as a pandemic March 2020. Page and others reiterated that infection control measures were implemented to prevent the spread of the virus. That includes physical distancing and stay-at-home lockdown restrictions. Page and others also highlighted that these measures have been effective in slowing the spread of the virus. However, it has required major adjustment for many and has been specifically difficult for the older people. They have been strongly advised to distance themselves from family members and friends as they are the most susceptible to COVID. For them, staying safe may be accompanied by isolation and loneliness, which may potentially turn to significant psychological distress. Speaking of distress, let's now look at the behavioral risk factors that are affected during the lockdown. AIHW defines health risk factors as characteristics that increase the possibility of a person to get sick. Behavioral risk factors are the ones that people have the most ability to control or change. Among the many behavioral risk factors affected during COVID-19 pandemic, we will consider physical activity and stress as these are more significant to Colin's situation. Older Australians are recommended to aim for 30 minutes of moderate exercise daily, as per national guidelines mentioned by AIHW. According to Day and others, a survey of 500 respondents reported that 60% of older people were exercising less due to lockdown. This leads them to suggest that lack of social support network or social isolation is associated with poor physical health, which may cause chronic illnesses including high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. Chen et al. Proposed that being disconnected socially have also been related with negative effects on mental health, including chronic stress, which may result to more severe symptoms of depression, anxiety, and impaired quality of life in the long run. Prevention of this illness through personal care and health promotion is the principle of primary health care in Australia, as mentioned by Berman and Brooke and Clark suggest that primary healthcare nurses can support older people by listening to their experiences. This will enable all older people promote and protect their health in ways that are meaningful to them. This approach is related to the basic principle of motivational interview, as stated by Watkins. Another way to support the older person, according to the Standard 11 of the National Practice Standards for Nurses in General Practice by the Australian Nursing and Midwifery Federation, is to effectively convey evidence-based health information to improve health knowledge and promote self-management. In conclusion, the social support network of older people like Colin are impacted by the COVID-19 negatively. It causes him physical inactivity and stress as behavioral risk factors, which could lead to potential long-term diseases. Primary healthcare nurses can support through motivational interviews and ensuring to listen to their experiences and deliver health information that are evidence-based to promote self-management.